Israel is launching a broad wave of strikes on Iran. Officials there say air defense systems at Israel's northern border intercepted a number of rockets fired by the Iran-backed group Hezbollah. We also know the Israeli military is carrying out what are described as targeted ground raids across that border into southern Lebanon. CNN chief international security correspondent Nick Payton-Walsh is live in Tel Aviv. He's joining us right now. He's done extensive reporting on Israel's operation against Hezbollah in Lebanon. What are you learning today, Nick?
As you said, Wolf, it appears that we're in a slightly different phase here, where Israel is now referring to its targeted ground raids inside southern Lebanon. We only knew of two as of yesterday, one in the Bekaa Valley and one in southern Lebanon. Each time they're looking for commanders, specific facilities, but the notion of this plural now, not much other detail suggesting that the Israelis have, from what I could see when we were up on the northern border yesterday, lacking the substantial numbers of troops that we could see publicly for a major ground invasion, are instead taking out specific targets. Now, that may suggest a sort of smart approach, so to speak, where they're looking to hit particular things rather than occupy a huge amount of territory and take casualties potentially with that. And at the same time, to persistent airstrikes. When we were up there 48 hours ago, the noise is relentless, as indeed too can be the Hezbollah rocket barrages back off in some of the towns there, with very little siren warning between siren and actual impact or interception. But this particular part of Israel's war in the region here, something of a different chapter, you might argue, than the relentless strikes we've been seeing over Iran. Southern Beirut hit again as well, and indeed the IDF putting out another repeat warning, ultimately reiterating to people to get away from the southern part of Lebanon below the Litani River and certain districts of southern Beirut. But their strikes against Iran, announcing another wave today, as you said. And clearly, I think one interesting element of the Pentagon briefing was to hear Joint Chief of Staff General Dan Kane refer to the third part of the goals here that have been elucidated by the White House and by Hegseth during that particular press conference as taking out the missiles, the Navy, and preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon. General Kane went a little bit further, talking about how they would be targeting the military-industrial complex in Iran, the ability for Iran to make the things that cause the problem to the United States and its allies in the region. I think that is a difference that obviously will be very tethered to the reality of what the US target lists indeed are now, and the intensity of the strikes that our colleagues have been reporting in Tehran, that residents said in Tehran kept them up all night. Well, I should also remind people, the latest death toll we have from a human rights group based in the United States is over 1,200 killed in these strikes as well. So ferocity there certainly, and enormous ambiguity from the White House as to exactly how they call this to an end. If you listen to the president, he's simultaneously saying they're very complete or near complete, but also saying this could go on for a while. It feels like he's looking for some kind of political conciliation or accommodation, or frankly gift from the Iranian regime to allow this to turn down. But at this point, Tehran very bellicose in its rhetoric. And the new Supreme Leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, just hearing an early warning siren here on our phones, Wolf. Sorry if you can hear that. Mujtaba Khamenei not seen in public in his new role. Wolf?
So you get that early warning siren alert on your phone over there, and then what, about 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, they anticipate a missile could be coming in towards central Israel?
You mean you've been here yourself, Wolf? We get that early warning, and then 2-3 minutes potentially. If it's from the north, lot shorter launch to impact time, and then you get a specific local air raid siren that's much more familiar noise to people, which tells you to seek shelter immediately. This is basically telling everyone to move, to get ready, obviously, so the elderly, others can move at a slower pace towards the nearest shelter. We normally react on the balcony here when we hear the specific local alert, because the radar system, quite sophisticated, able to ascertain the early moment of launch, but then also the particular parts of Israel that are targeted by these missiles as they get closer, Wolf.
And very quickly, I'm going to let you run to a shelter if you have to, Nick, but are most of the rockets and missiles and drone strikes coming towards central Israel, Tel Aviv, for example, where you are right now, coming from Iran or from Hezbollah forces in Lebanon?
A mix over the last week we have heard of combined strikes. I think the majority we've been seeing, the alerts have said this fired from Iran. But as we were just saying earlier on, we saw ourselves rocket launches from Hezbollah in the north. Sometimes that targets the shorter areas in northern Israel. We have an occasional instance seen some, I think, trying to get closer towards central Israel. But obviously Hezbollah are under enormous pressure at this point, Wolf.
All right, stay safe over there. And we're showing our viewers some live pictures from Beirut. You see the smoke coming up. Israel is continuing to launch its strikes against Hezbollah targets throughout Lebanon right now as well. All right, Nick Payton-Walsh, thanks very, very much.
There's also new video we want to show you from coming in from northern Iraq in the Kurdish region there. Eyewitness video shows a massive fire burning near the UAE consulate. This is after 3 drones were reportedly shot down. Also, new video is coming in from Dubai, really over the beach in Dubai. Take a look at this, showing a fighter jet firing a missile at what appears to be an Iranian drone. The video, though, ends before we see whether that missile makes impact. CNN's Paul Hancock is live in Abu Dhabi for us this morning. What's the very latest that you're picking up from there?
Well, Kate, we've had an emergency alert here in Abu Dhabi in the last sort of 10 minutes or so, and we understand from authorities that there is a fire at a facility in the industrial area of Abu Dhabi. They say, as far as they know at this point, there are no casualties. We did hear as well a number of hours ago, early this morning, maybe up to 10 interceptions overhead. So it is continuing, no let up in the retaliation from Iran at this point, certainly when it comes to the UAE. And that video I want to refer to, Kate, is really quite remarkable. The fact that you do see there the fighter jet trying to take down a drone over a beach in Dubai. Notable as well because you see people on that beach in Dubai. It really brings it home that here in the UAE there is great trust in the military that they are going to manage to intercept these drones and these missiles, and so you do see people still carrying on with life as usual. But the UAE has been remarkably targeted in this retaliation. It appears to be far more projectiles than anyone else in the region, including, it appears, Israel, which, along with the United States, started this war. Now, these are yesterday's figures, so we know that they are higher, but there's some 253 missiles, 1,400 drones plus that have been fired in just the last 10 days. That's not counting what we have heard this morning. Really remarkable. And then also this UAE consulate in Erbil in Iraq. That's, I think, the all clear for the previous emergency alert here in Abu Dhabi. But the UAE consulate in Erbil in Iraq appears to have been targeted as well, showing that UAE assets across the Gulf and the Middle East are potentially a concern at this point. We've heard from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying that there has been no casualty. They believe no damage, but they have asked Kurdistan authorities to look into this and find out exactly what had happened, because clearly that is of concern to them. But we are seeing the Gulf nations continuing to be targeted by Iran, none more so than the United Arab Emirates at this point. Worth pointing out, though, the military has intercepted well over 90% of what Tehran has thrown at them so far. Kate?
Paula Hancock in Abu Dhabi for us. Thank you so much, Paula.